Hello and welcome to Unit 1.2. Yeah, in the last unit, we talked about the lesson objectives, and I told you those things you are expected to know at the end of lesson 1. And starting with this class, we are going to learn these things, and I'll need you to pay attention. Is that okay? Very good. Now remember that you can ask me questions at the end of the class. If you have any challenges or difficulty, note down your question and you can ask me. Is that okay? Very good, very good. Now this unit, we are going to talk about computers and its various parts. In this lesson, in this unit, we are going to learn what a computer is and what are the basic parts of a computer. Is that okay? Very good, very good. Now I need you to sit upright and pay attention to what I'll be teaching you. Is that okay? Good. Now this is the time to learn. Very good. Are you ready? Now if you are ready, say yeah. Very good. Okay. Now let's move on. The first thing we are going to talk about is what is a computer? You know, everybody goes around and say computer, 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 computer. But what is a computer? Now, what can you tell me about a computer? Okay, very good, very good. That's good. Good of you. Clap for yourselves. Good. Very good. I love that definition. Okay, now let's take things a little bit simple. Is that okay? Let's make it a little bit simple. A computer is a boss which does what you tell it to do. It's just as simple as that. A computer is just like a boss which does what you tell it to do. What that means is that a computer is something that can do something for you based on your instruction. It's like, for example, I'm going to talk to my dog and say, hey, Jackie, move. Hey, Jackie, sit down. Hey, Jackie, stand up. Hey, Jackie, get me this. You know, as my dog is going to obey me. So it's the same thing a computer does. A computer is just a boss that does what you tell it to do. But the problem is that adults want to confuse us, and they will say that this boss is an electronic device. And that word electronic device cannot become so big for us, and we don't know what it means. An electronic device is just like something that is powered. You know, it's powered with electricity and has some connections like wires and some other things that look like a fuse or ICs. And these all things make it possible for the computer to communicate or to do what you tell it to do. Now, remember I said that the computer is just a boss. It's different from just your matchbox or some other box that you can have because it's electronic. Okay? Very good. Now, let me show you a sample of a computer. Good. Can you see this computer? Very good. Very good. Now, this is known as a personal computer. And personal computers can come in various forms. For example, you have this one you see on the screen. It's called a desktop computer. It's called a desktop computer because of the size. It has a CPU separate, and then the other parts of the computer is like almost separate. Is that okay? And sometimes it's very big and bulky to carry. We also have a laptop. Is that okay? There's something that's called a laptop. I can perhaps guess that you are currently using a laptop to study this course. A laptop does not have this distinct part. It's built. This big part, this big green part that you are seeing, which we often refer to as the CPU, is inbuilt. And also the keypad you see here is just also built on top of the laptop. So it makes it easy for us to carry and for us to use. Is that okay? Very good. So this is an example of personal computers. Personal computers can also include our phones, can also include our televisions. These days we have smart TVs and other things. Your iPad is also an example of a personal computer. Is that okay? Very good. So today you should have known that a computer is just a box which they refer to as electronic device that does what you tell it to do. Is that okay? Good. And then we have personal computers, which include your desktop computers, your laptops, your mobile phones, and also your iPad and other devices. Is that okay? Very good. Now, there's something about a computer, and that is, although it does what you tell it to do, the computer has no brain. Like, it's not smart on its own. Oh no. The computer is not smart on its own. But how does the computer understand us? It understands us using certain languages. Is that okay? It uses certain languages that it has been programmed to understand. And then we give it instruction. Now, am I talking too much? Okay, don't worry. These words, instruction, languages, are things we are going to look at as we move on. Is that okay? Very good. So we are done with what a computer is. And I'm going to ask you right now, what's a computer? I'm listening. Very good, very good, very good, very good. You are doing well, you are trying. But I'll need you to repeat it several times so that you can become part of you. Is that okay? Good. So your assignment is going to be, I'll need you to tell mommy, to tell daddy, to tell your little brother, your big brother, your little sister, your big sister, your auntie, your uncle. I want you to tell them what a computer is. Is that okay? Good. So after this class, I'll need you to go to them and tell them each what a computer is. Is that okay? Very good. Good. Now we are friends. We are great friends. Okay, good. Now the next thing we'll talk about are the parts of a computer. Is that okay? Good. The parts of a computer. Now, computer have several parts. The first one is the monitor. What is the monitor? Very good, very good. Now, the monitor is found inside the computer case. When I say the computer case, I mean the entire case of the computer, the entire build-up of the computer. The monitor is found inside. And what the monitor does is that it helps display images and text on the screen. So now you are watching this class and you can see me, you can see the things that are written in this video. This is possible because you have a monitor that is used to display whatsoever video or classes you have downloaded. Is that okay? Good. So without the monitor, you cannot be able to see what I'm telling you now. You cannot be able to see me. You cannot be able to see what is written on your screen. Is that okay? Now, this is an image of the monitor. Can you see the monitor? Yeah, it looks so fine. It looks so fine. Yeah, that is a monitor for you. Now, this monitor is actually that of a desktop computer. That of a laptop computer will be slightly different from what you are seeing on the screen. Is that okay? Good. Now, I need you to know that one of the basic parts of the computer is the what? The monitor. Very good, the monitor. And what does the monitor do? It helps to display images and text on the screen. Very good. Clap for yourself. Good one. So I need you to take some few time and write that down on your notes. Write it down. I'm going to wait for you. I'm waiting. Good. One of the basic parts of the computer is the monitor. The monitor helps to display images and text on the screen. Very good. Now let's move on. And the next part of the computer we'll talk about is the keyboard. Yeah, the keyboard. The keyboard is very, very essential. The keyboard is known as an input device for the computer. Again, the keyboard is known as an input device for the computer. When I say input device, I mean that it is used to give the computer information. Okay, it is used to enter information into the what? The computer. A keyboard is an input device made up of finger-sized buttons. So if you look at your computer right now, you will see some buttons that are finger-sized, which means you can place your fingers on them and it fits around your what? Your finger. Very good. And then what happens is that the keyboard allows you to enter data on the computer. Now, for example, you want to type what your name is, it is the keyboard you would use. Without the keyboard, it will be difficult to enter data on the computer. Now, what is the second part of the second basic part of the computer we have learned? The keyboard. The first one was what? The monitor. Very good. And the second one is what? The keyboard. Very good. Good. We are going to go on to the third part. And before we move on to the third part, I need you to see an example of a keyboard. Now look at this keyboard, it's so beautiful, so colored. You can see that we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, and then we have some letters over there. So this is an example of a keyboard. Is that okay? This is a keyboard. Very good. Now let's move on to the third part of a computer we are going to learn, and it is the what? The mouse. Good, the mouse. What's the mouse? Yeah, I can see you jumping. Yeah, very good. You know the mouse already. Yeah, good. Okay, can you raise your mouse for me to see? Very good, very good. Okay, now look at the mouse. This is an example of a mouse. You can see it. Yeah, this is an example of a mouse. Now the challenge is going to be for those of you using a laptop, you may begin to wonder, oh, I don't have this kind of mouse. I don't have this kind of mouse. Don't worry. For laptops, our mouse are commonly referred to as touchpad, and then they are inbuilt, okay? It's not movable like this. It's not wired. It's inbuilt, okay? Now you can see that just right at the top of your laptop, you can see a section that looks that you can touch, and then you see this pointer moving. Yes, that serves as your mouse. Is that okay? So don't be worried if you are using a laptop and you're not seeing this. No, don't be worried. Is that okay? Good. But what is a mouse? A mouse is a tool that helps you communicate also with the computer. It allows you to point to objects. Right now, I'm using my mouse and I'm pointing to my face. Can you see my face? Yeah, good. Now, the next time I'm going to point to the spelling computer. Can you see me moving over the word computer? Yes, good. Okay, let me move over to the word mouse. Can you see me moving over the word mouse? Yes, very good. Now, I'm able to do this. I'm able to point to this object because I have what? A mouse. Is that okay? Good. And I can also click on this object and also move them. I can do this all because of what? Of a mouse. So a mouse is another basic part of the computer. Is that okay? Very good. So write it down in your notes that the third basic part of a computer we have learned is the what? The mouse. Very good. And then the mouse is a tool that helps us communicate with the what? With the computer. Very good. Good boy. Good girl. And what happens is that it allows us to point to objects on the what? On the screen. And we can also click this object and we can also move them. Now I'm going to do something for you to see. I'm going to move an object for you to see. And then you just see. Now look at the video. Look at my face here. Good. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to move it. You see me moving it? Very good. Very good. Very good. Now I'm able to move it because I have what? A mouse. And I've been able to click on this object and move it. Is that okay? Very good. Now I need you to use your mouse on your computer and move some objects around. Have you done that? Good. Now we've learned about 3 basic parts of the computer. The first time we talked about was what? The monitor. Good. And the second was what? The what? The keyboard. Very good. And now we've learned about what? The mouse. That makes it what? 3. Very good. Now we're going to talk about the next. And the next is the central processing unit, what we commonly refer to as the CPU. I know you've heard about this word, the CPU. I know you've heard about it. Now this is the picture of a desktop CPU. This is for a desktop. Again, if you are using a laptop, don't worry, your CPU is built inside your laptop. Now the CPU is a part of a computer that interprets and carries out instruction of a computer program. That word program looks big. Good. We're going to talk about what a program is and also the word instruction. We're going to learn about what instructions are. Is that okay? So don't worry, just relax and learn that the CPU is a part of computer that interprets and carries out instruction. Is that okay? Good. Now, commonly, people refer to the CPU as the brain of the computer, and that is true. It is the CPU that interprets a lot of things that will tell the computer to do. Oh, computer, tell me what is the time. Computer, I want you to do this. Computer, I want you to do that. All goes to the CPU. And the CPU will be there. Hey, okay, yeah, my boss wants me to tell him the time. The time is 3 o'clock. Good. My boss wants me to do this. This is this. Yeah, that is the CPU that does it. Is that okay? Good. The CPU does a lot of work for the computer. Now, that makes it 4 basic parts of the computer we have learned. Let me see if you remember. The first one is what? Monitor, good. Second is what? Keyboard, good. Third is what? Mouse, very good. And lastly, we've talked about what? The central processing unit known as the what? The CPU, very good. Now let's move on to another part, which is known as the UPS. The UPS is referred to as the uninterruptible power supply. The UPS works as a power saver. You know, if there's no light, your computer cannot work. That's one reason why we say it's an electronic device. So in case there are no power supply, we want a backup to be able to power our computer. And that backup is known as the what? The UPS. It's known as the UPS. Now, this is a picture of the UPS. Okay, good. Now, this is an example of a UPS. Is that okay? The UPS works as a power saver, and it provides battery backup to your what? To your computer. Is that okay? Very good. Now, these are the basic parts of a computer that you need to know. Now, I'm going to give you an assignment. I will need you to go back and list other basic parts of computer we have not identified. Let me give you one more example. The speaker, good. Speakers are also part of the computer. Is that okay? So I'll need you to go and list other parts, and then I'll need you to send it to me. I'm going to check if you are correct or not. Is that okay? Good. That is good. That's my super programmer. Clap for yourself. Very good. Very good. Very good. Now, we have learned in this unit what a computer is and the various parts of a computer. In the next unit, we are going to learn about who a computer programmer is, or when we say a coder, who a coder is. Is that okay? Very good. So see you in the next lesson, and don't forget my assignment. I've given you an assignment. List other basic parts of computer that we've not talked about today. Do that, okay? Good, very good. Good. I'm enjoying my time with you, and I hope you're enjoying your time with me too. Very good, very good. Okay, see you in the next unit, and then we'll continue to learn. Is that okay? Very good, very good.